In this lesson, we're going to continue our investigation of drawing code and draw some different shapes. And we're going to start getting a little bit more practical, and in this example we're going to draw a pie chart. In our activity, we're creating a shapes view, and that shapes view has properties for percentage values. These are the values of the slices in the pie chart, an array of slice colors, and these are going to be the colors of each individual pie slice. So our 10% value is going to be drawn red, our 20% value is going to be drawn blue. Our shapes view again descends from view, has members for the percent values and the slice colors, and then we get into the drawing code. Now we're going to use the top portion of the screen, and we're going to make ourselves a square that's roughly equal to the width of the screen, and we're going to draw a white background rectangle. And we're going to put in a little bit of padding in both the rectangle from the screen edges and then for the actual pie circle from the background rectangle. So we'll create our rectangle using the padding, and then we're going to fill the rectangle, and again we're using a graphics helper class. Now we've already talked about fill rectangle, so I won't go over that again, but we're filling our rectangle with a white background. Then we'll calculate a radius for our pie chart, which is simply going to be the rectangle width minus the padding and divided by 2. And then we'll get ourselves a center point for our pie chart. And again, it's using the rectangle left and the padding and the rectangle top and the padding. And then we'll draw the slices. So we get the number of slices, which is going to equal to the value's length. And we'll loop through each individual slice, and we'll calculate something called a sweep angle. A sweep angle is simply the share that each percentage value gets of the full 360 degrees of the circle. So we take our 360 degrees and multiply it times the percentage value and divide it by 100%. And then we call our fill slice method, passing in our canvas, the slice color for the particular slice. We're going to outline each slice with the color black. We pass in our center coordinate, our radius, our start angle, which is going to start at 0, which is actually all the way over to the right side, east if you will, and then our sweep angle. At the end of drawing the slice, we move our start angle over to the end of the sweep angle, so we're ready to move and draw the next slice. Our fill slice does two things. It fills in the arc, which is the pie slice, so we get a solid fill color, and then it draws the arc, so it's drawing an outline all the way around the slice. So let's take a look at the methods that we've used. We've used the fill rectangle in the graphics helper, which we've already been talking about. And let's take a look at the fill arc. The fill arc first sets an anti-alias on the paint object and sets the style to fill, which, if you remember filling a rectangle, we did the same sort of thing. We also set the paint's color. Then we create a rectangle based on the coordinates that were sent in for the center point and the radius. And then finally we draw the arc using that rectangle, the start angle, the sweep angle, and a Boolean for using the center, and a paint. Drawing the arc, is extremely similar. Again, we anti-alias the paint. We set the style as a stroke instead of a fill, and we set the stroke width to the line width. We set the paint's color, calculate that same sort of rectangle for where the slice is going to be drawn, and then draw the arc. So those are the methods we're using for the pie chart. I've also included the draw line method that we saw before, and I've put in a couple of more for filling ellipses and drawing ellipses. And ellipses can be circular or not circular, just regular ellipses. And then finally, there's a fill polygon method, which lets you put in a series of points and draws lines from point to point and eventually fills it with whatever color you choose. So you'll see those in your work file. So now let's take a look at our pie chart. And there it is. And you can see the red slice was the first slice we drew. So we started at this start angle being 0, and we gave a percentage to our red slice, which was 10%, and then we moved our start angle to this point here in between the red and the blue slices and started the blue slice and gave it 20%, and then moved on to the green and the yellow. You can see that the slices all have a black border line and filled with the appropriate colors. And also we have our rectangular white border and padding on the left and the top and the right, and the rectangular is essentially square using the top portion of the screen. And then we padded the pie chart from the rectangle edges. So there's the beginnings of our pie chart. In the next lesson we're going to take a look at how to draw text. So we'll give this pie chart a little bit of a label. And then in a future lesson, we're going to see how to respond to user actions with drawing code. So when the user clicks on a slice, we'll give them a little message that says what the slice value was. So that's pretty good stuff.